folks. We are headed to Spring. Me and Stitch here. There's one of the new electric Hummers that's broke down. It's supposed to not have any power whatsoever. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it into tow mode or not. The customer's already said he has been advised not to try to jump it to get into tow mode, even though there is a certain procedure for getting it into tow mode if it does lose power. I've towed these things before with and without power. Towing, there's a very certain tow procedure for these. It's, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary, but being an electric vehicle, they, you know, are somewhat tricky, and they're very particular about how you tow them, especially considering these things are selling for a couple $100,000. So we are heading that way, and we'll see what we got when we get there. Appreciate y'all watching. Alright. Backed up to it here. Yeah, everything's set up. There's a very particular way you have to tow these things. I might end up having to jack it up with the skates under it. Going to need one of my straps here. Taking a bunch of pictures. Do that on all four wheels and tires. Side of a garage like this is kind of a pain. So I might have to jack it up, depending on how I think rather than trying to hammer these under there, I'm going to get my jack and just lift it real quick. That way I don't have to hammer these things, they go up under there all the way. I think that'll be a little bit easier. Really trying not to damage their floor. Enough or not. time-consuming part. So there's not much room to work with over here. scoot this here in case I need it again in a second. Go ahead and lay the bed down. I'm gonna back up just a little bit more. Our goal is to have it to where it transitions off of that lip straight onto the bed. I was about a foot shy there. Get that close. On these, you can't use any of the suspension components or anything as a recovery point. Probably going to get a couple of boards when I need to escape that gap. Recommended by GM to use the factory tow hooks by basketing a strap, unless you have like a soft bridle. So that's what I'm doing here. Bring the ends out together. Like so. This isn't perfect, but it will definitely do the job. Alright, now we get to start sucking this thing out of here. Carefully watching all four skates. Set some little boards down. Skates come across. Nice and smooth. Should work. Transfer onto the bed. This is the part I'm particularly nervous about, getting to come out of there. I'm probably going to have to try to pull forward. Barely floating. Yeah, I know.
Low.
Right.
So you have to make sure that it doesn't hit that thing.
That's right, and trust, that's what I'm fixing to do. What I'm going to do is I'm barely going to pick up on the bed, okay? And then I'm going to pull forward a little bit, very carefully watching that.
Sure.
So that way, do Trust me, I'm getting plenty of videos and stuff right now of it. I'm gonna barely pick up on the bed just to float it just enough to move it to where we can get it out here to where we don't have that clearance issue. Get these boards out so I can drop the bed a little bit. So I'm gonna pull forward real slow. It looks like it should clear. I don't know if we can get up. That's about. So just watch that really carefully. Make sure you're where I can see you, and if it looks like it's gonna get close, just stop me, okay? Very careful, man. Not how I would normally do this, given the particular situation. I don't particularly see another option. Look like it's getting close. I can see. Okay. Right, I can, well, once I get it out here, I can drop it even lower. If I needed to, I could always pull the bed out from underneath it if I needed to now, and we could pull it out a little bit more. But I can come down a little bit lower. So just what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to try to get it. Let me know when that little fin gets gets right in here. When that fin gets right about there, we can stop, because then I can always drop it, and I can always, we can click. Yeah, just make like yell, holler, do whatever you got to do. Still carefully bringing this thing out. Concerned that the fin is not going to clear. Up here. Okay. It's gonna be close. But I said I can also drop this a little bit more too to get us more clearance. How's that look? Maybe a little better? Okay.
If it doesn't hit this, it will definitely hit this
hit
one.
There?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty close there. Let me, so
this is close, but this is definitely not.
Right. Okay, let me let off on it real quick. So I'm gonna try to pull my bed out from underneath it. Okay, so there, I mean, it would be just like you would drive it out now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull forward until to where it's not gonna get onto the truck until it's out here.
Are you sure it's gonna make it out?
I mean, right now it's at the same level that you would be if you were driving it. So if you drove it in here like that, it should clear.
Okay, I hope so.
So we'll go real slow. I'm just gonna pull it forward just a little bit here. Forward a little bit more if I need to, but we're going to get this thing out of the garage before I actually try to start loading it. It's clear, it's clear. Because your driveway's coming down now, so the more I pull it, the lower it goes. It's close, I think I can see it. It's good, it's good. Yeah, I say it's barely gonna clear, but. So the more we come out, the lower it gets, because we're on a slope here. Yeah. Is it all the way past now? Okay. All right, so we're good. Now, reposition these here. All right. Have the skates back under it. Can't get it jacked up high enough to get boards underneath it. So most likely I'm going to have to let it transfer over the skates. Once I get onto the bed. Okay. Now I can get the skates back under it.
Was it supposed to do that?
Well, I couldn't, because it's so high, I can't get it jacked up because it's heavy. So I had to get it up on the bed so I can get the skates back under it. Let me try to straighten the steering wheel a little bit here. Let's see, it's coming back out. These things are very nice on the inside. As straight as I can so it wants to stop kicking the skates off. Good news is now it'll skate a lot easier. Generally, unless I have to like this, I generally don't use skates because they tend to do this. Well, you kind of have to with these. Skate. Not skating. Really need better skates for this. These little Wreckmaster skates don't like to slide on abrasive surfaces. This one come out big. Quit rolling over those cleats. I wonder. It's extremely heavy. Hate these things. To stop from rolling, I'm going to block the back tires and walk back underneath it. These skates they don't want to slide on this concrete no more. It was fine on that. So what I'm going to try to do, if you're okay with it, is bring my truck back underneath it. I can do that by either backing up or I can kind of walk the truck back. But when I put the wheel lift down to do that, it might kind of scratch your driveway a little bit. So if you don't want me to do that, I can try to back up real slowly. It is completely up to you.
What is the issue then? I mean, can't you take off it's pulling?
Well, it is, but you don't want the wheel to turn. And right now it's not sliding how it should.
What do you think is the best way?
The best way that I have most control over is if I can walk it back. I don't have, so
that's fine.
If you're fine with it, then I can stick this block here back behind it so it doesn't want to move or roll or anything.
But it's not gonna damage the car.
No, this is the best way to not damage it, because you don't want, especially on an EV, you don't want the wheels to turn. And right now these skates are not skating on this stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. If that's the best way to go, then I don't know what else.
It's the best way. Unfortunately, it's not the best situation to be in, but considering what one of these costs, I'm pretty sure neither one of us want it to be damaged, So I'll be as nice and easy as I can. Walk truck back nice and easy. Okay, it's not gonna wanna walk because it's so heavy. So I'm just gonna back up really, really slowly. If you see that tire wanting to jump that block, stop me. Not not how I would want to do this normally, considering the situation. It's really the only way. Yeah, it's jumping over. I'm just gonna have to very slowly move it back with the skates. That's the only option that I have at this point.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to just keep jumping those skates because it's gonna keep fighting me.
Yeah.
That's why I wish.
If there was something that would be like flat.
Well, that's why I'm gonna try to get the. I'm gonna try to get these boards down here to where it comes down on. Hopefully it wants to slide on this a little easier. Really need some longer boards, which I might be doing very soon, considering all of this mess. Here, let's try this. Try getting in it and holding the brake. See if we can stop the wheels from wanting to spin.
But I
don't know. So I don't know if this will.
don't think it'll work because it's only when.
Well, it's all you gotta do is hold the brake pedal. I wish the electric parking brake would work. That would be best case scenario, but
Nothing.
you know. Just see if you can hold the brakes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but
I mean, I can hold it, but
yeah,
I
just
without it.
well, if it'll just stop the wheels from turning, that's the idea. Yeah, see, it's not going to do it. I'm just going to have to keep jumping those blocks. It's not wanting to slide on this concrete. Wished. Is that one? That one slid. This one did. This one just.
This one came over, but that one went a little bit farther. I mean, you have to be little by little, I think.
We're just, that's all we're gonna be able to do.
That's the only way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way to go.
That one's about to jump also. Get here, it should. Now once we get on the bed here, it should be good. It should work. Oh. This one kind of fought us a little bit.
No, I would buy this. As pretty as it is.
Right? Wouldn't buy another one? Okay. Alright. It's loaded up.
I think you might need to go up a bit.
What's that?
Like the
Well, that's as far forward as I can get it. It's safe how it is there. I'm gonna strap it down so it's not gonna move. I'm gonna just go ahead and pick up my my blocks here. All right, strapping this thing down. The only strap that is approved for use with the EV Hummer are 8 points. You have to use 8 points. So you have to get them around here like this. Unfortunately, the wheel tire on these things are massive. You have to have them basically as short as you can get them. For them to work. Of course, just like any other time you would use 8 points. Pay very special attention not to get it too low in the back there, so you don't hit any ABS wires, brake lines, or anything, especially on these. So I imagine what stuff like that would cost you to fix if it were broken. Repeat that process 4 more times, 3 more times. Very certain procedure you have to follow with these things. How you strap them, how you load them, jump starting procedures, everything you have to be very, very careful with. Of course, a lot of that stuff only works in a perfect world. Guarantee you after this, we'll have a different set of skates. Heavier duty set of skates, something for a wider tire, like you find on these. A lot of the problem that we encountered here today. These little skates here that we have are fairly thin, not very wide. Even on like a normal application, say if it was like a 2-wheel drive vehicle, I would have taken those skates and I would have doubled them up to where they're really wide, so no portion of the tire would have been touching. And that alone would have helped a lot, especially in this particular situation, with as wide tires these things have. It's absolutely ridiculous. But these things are supposed to be made to be off-road vehicles, so they actually set these things up fairly decent as far as their wheel and tire setup. Only thing that really gets you on these things is how heavy they are. If you look up the curb weight, not the gross vehicle weight ratio, the actual curb weight on these things is right at 9,000 pounds. It's heavier than most full-size 1-ton trucks that you'll see on the road. These things are absolutely heavy. Should have rotated that around one more chain. I'm doing it now. Okay. Dropping this. All right. And that is that. We will head to the dealership and unload it. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay. We have made it to the dealership. I am going to go ahead and get this thing unstrapped. Work on getting this thing off of the truck. Hopefully it's not quite as much of a chore as it was loading it. So I've hauled these things before, and it is, the last one wasn't quite as much of a pain to get off or onto the truck. It wasn't as hard to get on it. The only thing that really sucks with these things is they're so heavy. So the curb weight alone on these things is about 9,000 pounds. So trying to walk the truck out from underneath it can sometimes be a little bit problematic, especially with that much weight out there on the end of the truck. So I'm going to have to probably finesse it off the truck a little bit, being as careful as I can with it as possible, but we'll be able to get it. There's a unfortunately, seemingly a fairly common problem. I think it's the second time I've towed one of these for this exact problem, which seems to be like, I believe what they called on the last one was low voltage memory loss, where basically, I guess once the voltage drops to a certain point, all the memory is just wiped from the computer. The last one that I towed, took them a while to diagnose it, and they ended up having to have GM remotely access the computer to re-flash some of the memory onto some of the modules, just for the dealership to be able to get access to the computer to get into it. It's like it just forgets that it's a car, you know? Unfortunately, the whole EV market, at least in the American vehicles, has not caught up with the technology. I guess until everything gets caught up and they work out all their little bugs, most of the electric vehicles will probably continue to have some of these problems. It's like these, because of when they get into this state like this, you can't even jump it to give the computer power. It won't take charge, it won't turn on, the screens are completely dead. The last one that I towed, the windows were down on it, and it wouldn't. So they had it was the last one I had towed was backed up to a charging station. This one here has a charging station in their house that it was hooked up to. It just would not take a charge, which is sounds like exactly how the last one that I towed was. That one was actually going to Dubai. Broke down inside the port on a charging station. Ended up later, once it got fixed, I had to tow it to the airport so that they could fly it to Dubai. I would imagine those are gonna roll off. I'm gonna have to re-skate it. Really don't want to allow the wheels to turn on these things. Of course, that really only works in a perfect world. Get my hammer here. Beat these under a little bit. Being up on the bed, that it kind of makes it a little bit easier. Like how it was earlier with the concrete. It is going to roll back a little bit. Anyways, probably going to have to angle the bed a little bit, give a little bit more downward weight. There we go. Back to good. Like the rears are about off. Working it off until I get the block in front of the tire. Go ahead and move a block over there to the other side. Come off of us a little bit more there. back under the front. Once we get the slide as much. Missed it on that one. Here. Slide back. That'll give us enough resistance. Nope. I have to go get one of my bigger blocks. That's going to. Let me get one of my bigger blocks. Try WD-40 in the front. That helps my way off the winch also. Back anymore with it there. There we go. Not happy right now. Doing stuff like this is generally a lot easier. You can walk with the bed instead of the wheel lift. suck in our wheel lids. Might use the bed to get my skates out from underneath it real quick. Instead of doing that, to get my rear skates out from underneath it. Let it roll back any. Pull over the block. And it's off. Come up here. Free spool it real quick. Rear blocks out from underneath it. Probably by walking them out with the hammer, but that is easy compared to how loading this thing went. Alright. That about does it. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my stuff picked up here. Appreciate y'all watching. I ask y'all would please subscribe, like, and share to the channel. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.